Just recently, ESPN released its top 100 NBA players going into 2024, providing some insight into the power ranking so you know which teams are going into the new season with the best players and the best chances of winning a championship. The Golden State Warriors are looking like they're about to cash in. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. With 30 NBA teams and 15 players on rostered contracts, this gives you 450 NBA players in the league in any given year. Except where teams like the Warriors come in with 13 and left these spots open, resulting in something a little less than 450. These are the best players these teams can afford. What this also means is that 1/3 of these players, a total of 150, are starters in the league. Conceivably, each team should have their starting five ranked among the top 150 players. If they don't, they're either A, a tanking lottery team, B, in the middle of a rebuild with a bunch of young players, or C, one ridiculously underrated squad. These 150 players at the top are, without a doubt, the best players from around the world. Some teams can be a bit top-heavy with superstars. For example, the Lakers with LeBron and AD ranked 9th and 10th, and they don't have another player till we hit Austin Reeves at 66. And that's it. The Lakers do not have a fourth player in the top 100. The Phoenix Suns are also in a similar spot with Kevin Durant, who was ranked 7th, Devin Booker at 11th, and Bradley Beal at 37th. They just gave up their 49th ranked DeAndre Ayton, former first-round overall pick ahead of Luka, to the Portland Trailblazers, and in return received Nurkic, who didn't make the list. So those are just a couple examples of some top-heavy teams. Doesn't mean their 4th and 5th guys won't make the top 150, but that's inconsequential. The thing to note about this top 100 list is that it's a projection based on what the player is expected to contribute in the upcoming year. Some players have more data, such as Giannis, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Meanwhile, others, such as Scoot Henderson and Victor Wembanyama, have absolutely nothing but their non-NBA resumes. Yes, those two did make the top 100. As for the Warriors, there is something unique to Golden State about the top 100 list, which is pretty exciting and at the same time setting the team up for really high expectations this year. Before we discuss this fascinating development though, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content. So without further delay, let's get to it. For as long as the Golden State Warriors have been ranked as a contender by ESPN, this is the first time that this has ever happened. Going through the list of the top 100 players, I was actually kind of shocked at what I found. So I'm going to be sharing that with you and providing some insight into these rankings as well as what they mean for Golden State. The Golden State Warriors have not one, not two, not three, heck, not even 4 or 5. The Warriors, ready? Have 6 players ranked in the ESPN top 100. What's crazy is that it only gets better the deeper we dive into what this really means, so let's take it from the top. Who are these players in the top 100 and what is so significant? The first entry for the Warriors comes in at 88th. That means all 6 players from Golden State are ranked within the top 90 players in the league. The player's name is Kevon Looney, who wasn't ranked in the top 100 before this year. Last year, Kevon Looney led the league in offensive boards, grabbing 274 off the glass during the regular season. This led to 349 second chance points for the Warriors on those offensive boards, which is good for the top spot in the league. It didn't end there, however. Not only did Looney go head-to-head with an all-star center in Domantas Sabonis in the playoffs, he absolutely demolished him. If you want more details on that matchup, check out my video on how the Golden State Warriors dismantled the Sacramento Kings. I'll have that link posted at the end of this video. For all the talks about trading for another big such as Mitchell Robinson, he's ranked 12 spots behind Looney at 100. ESPN lists only 13 centers ahead of Loon. As a top 15 center in the league, Looney seems to finally be getting the respect he deserves. Do you agree with his ranking? Let me know in the comments. The second Warriors player ranked in the top 100 comes in at 76. Considering he just started suiting up for Golden State, it might be a bit difficult recognizing Chris Paul, who, get this, dropped 55 spots from last year to this year, meaning he was ranked as the 21st best player last year. Now I know we're trying to take this ESPN ranking seriously, but a drop like that over the course of a year is simply ridiculous. One of the reasons cited for the drop was his age. However, CP3's style of play doesn't predispose him to such a sharp decline over the course of a single season. Obviously, if he gets injured, however, that changes things a bit. But I'm expecting the Warriors to be on the lookout for that, as they'll need him in the playoffs a lot more than they'll need him in the regular season. Now I know when you saw Chris Paul's rank, you probably wondered where Poole would fall, and he's 4 spots ahead at 72. Another thought is that Scoot Henderson is ranked at 78th. There isn't a whole lot of difference between those places, but could Scoot potentially have the same impact that CP3 would? I wouldn't risk it. My overall thought is that the 76 is a bit low for Chris, but after last season, ESPN is likely overcorrecting for ranking him at 21. I think maybe mid-40s to low 50s would have been more reasonable. If he was ranked low 60s this season, I wouldn't be too shocked. Chris is 38 and will be 39 by the end of the season. That being said, if the Warriors start with their best players, CP3 is the default starter, and things are shaping up that way with comments from Looney. It obviously gives the Warriors a much smaller squad, but General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. seems satisfied with the roster, and Steve Kerr prefers to work with smaller and higher IQ players. That said, I do see Looney getting the start in certain matchups. The benefit is more shooting capability on the starting unit with Chris, but more rebounding with Loon. Pick your poison. The 4th Warriors player on the list comes in at 55. After being ranked 43rd last season, Draymond sees a 12-point drop. Now, are there 54 players in the league better than Dre? Being a significant part of the Warriors' big three going into their last few years, as well as the fact that he didn't really have a significant decline last year, I'd say he could be ranked maybe a few points higher. What really hurt his value was the fact that his most valuable asset, his leadership, came under heavy scrutiny last year and really kept him from being able to be the vocal leader he was. That obviously hurt the team. No one could really fill his shoes, but at the same time, he couldn't even wear them. Inevitably, Dre was a victim of his own circumstance. I'm expecting Draymond to be a much bigger asset to the team this year than he was last year. While he and Chris Paul could be the Clash brothers alongside the Splash brothers, it's imperative the two are able to maintain a professional relationship. This is a big test for Draymond, whether or not he and Chris are able to channel that inner fire constructively or risk breaking down the team like last year and have Dunleavy Jr. regret that $100 million investment. This situation either works or, unfortunately, someone has to go. The next Warriors player is so close to Dre, we move only one spot up to Wiggins at 54. I find this to be a lazy ranking for ESPN, but with the issues Wiggins was having last year, I could understand the hesitation in ranking him higher. His ranking this year is a significant drop-off, a full 22 points less than the 32nd where he was ranked last year. I'm fully expecting a resurgent Wiggins to be valued probably closer to the high 30s. I'll reiterate that the projection these guys have are somewhat based on their performances last year, but not completely, as it should reflect what the players are capable of doing this year. Is Wiggins any less capable this year of performing than he did when the Warriors won the chip? I think not. So I'd say the drop-off is unwarranted. If this is based on Wiggins' prior year's motivation or off-court issues to determine his rank, then how do you rank a rookie? With 2 more Warriors players to go, I will say it's important to know that Victor Wembanyama was ranked ahead of both Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins. I have to put this question out there. Would Victor Wembanyama start on this Steve Kerr squad? Who would he replace? Wiseman was actually given the start when he came onto the team, but he obviously didn't live up to it. Would VW get the start, or would Kerr get him out of here? Next up, the second best player on Golden State according to ESPN, Klay Thompson is ranked at 41st, just ahead of James Harden and Tyrese Maxey at 43rd and 42nd respectively. He dropped 4 places from last year, a drop in rating which seems fair. It really puts things into perspective. For example, mathematically speaking, you want your star player or your best player to be in the top 30, second best player in the top 60, etc. At 41st, Klay is not ranked nearly as high as some of the other second or even third options. Bradley Beal is ranked 37th behind KD at 7th and Devin Booker at 11th for the Phoenix Suns, which gives you an overall perspective of the strength of the player carrying the bulk of the load for said team. Put simply, The stars on the Suns are clustered in such close proximity, this team statistically should be able to compete with adding 2 trash players to fill out the rest of the roster. While Nurkic really ticks the boxes, coming in at 85th in the statistics ranking, a separate ESPN ranking than the one ESPN just released, the other projected starter, Josh Okogie, is ranked at 200th, although Eric Gordon, another option for the Suns, is ranked at 246th. What this is saying is that basically after the third player, it really doesn't matter who they go with outside of the top 100 players. Despite this, however, I will get to why this still works in the Warriors' favor. And for the highest ranked player on the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry needs no introduction. He comes in at number 5 behind the likes of Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, and Luka Doncic. Now, while Luka has been steadily making strides, I wouldn't exactly put him past Curry at the moment. NBA GMs and coaches have all ranked Steph Curry as the point guard they have to make the most adjustments for, above Luka. But that's besides the point. With Curry ranked at 5th, he beats out Tatum at 6th and SGA at 8th. Do you guys remember the Clippers trading away SGA and a million other players, plus draft picks for Paul George? Interesting times. What's also interesting is the fact that a few years ago, the top 3 players were between Steph Curry, KD, and LeBron James. While Curry is older than KD, the fact he's still ranked higher is a testament to the impact he still has on the league. He's still the guy other teams have to stop. It has been that way for years and will likely remain that way for a few more. One thing I do find quite interesting is that players who play together tend to get these lazy rankings. LeBron and AD at 9 and 10. LaVine and DeRozan at 38 and 39. Harden and Maxey 42nd and 43rd, Wiggins and Dre 54th and 55th. Kinda makes you wonder who comes up with this stuff. So Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Chris Paul, and Kevon Looney are all top 100 players as ranked by ESPN. While there are some top-heavy teams that will compete with Golden State, winning the championship isn't a sprint. This is a marathon, and with the spread of talent across the starting 5 and 6th man, the Warriors should be able to outlast most of these teams. With Wiggins and Dre not too far behind Klay, the Warriors' strength is more evenly distributed. This, while having a top 5 player on the squad in Steph Curry, gives them enough security to get out of tight spots and tough situations, like for example going to a Game 7 with the Kings last year. Let me know if the Warriors' distribution of power, aka strength in numbers, is a better approach to winning a championship. Last season, this team had the best 5-man lineup in the league. As they proved in 2022, this was a recipe for a championship. In 2023, a plethora of chemistry issues derailed their championship expectations. This season, they've added a 6th player, giving them the best 6-man rotation in the league. Now you tell me whether or not this team's winning a championship, or whether or not the top-heavy teams such as the Lakers, Suns, and Bucks have a better shot. Post your thoughts in the comments below, but before that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Swish.